All right, all right. We are back. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We want to know today, are you retirement ready? So if you are streaming live on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram, because I see we are live on Instagram now. So make sure you click like and click share. Click like and click share if you are in the place and under the sound of our voices tonight. You will be blessed. You are in the right place at the right time. But we want to know, are you retirement ready? So, and I'm also streaming and I'm going live on my YouTube. So, without further ado, I'm going to introduce to you my 3-star director, Pastor Mel Keys out of San Antonio. He is a husband, a pastor for over 20 years, as well as a grandfather. So I'm going to bring forth him. Come forth, Pastor Mel, and bless us with your presence. Ha ha.
Baby girl, you called me a little bit before I was ready, but you gotta be ready because
You
there's
got to
better
stay
things.
ready. Look, so you ain't got to get ready. That's right.
All right. I tell you what, you're looking good over there. I'm glad to see you.
Yeah, I got my little birthday shirt on, although it's not officially the day I was born, but God gave me another day. So
Come on.
happy birthday to me and to you. Happy
Hey, listen, it's getting close. I'm thanking God.
Yeah.
Every day is a birthday, and as you said, you ought to treat it as such. But I'm grateful.
Yes.
Almost 57 trips around that big ball in the sky.
You
So
know what? You and Pastor, Apostle Deborah, man, y'all need to stop telling the tale about y'all age.
I'm grateful. I'm thankful. I'm thankful.
Amen.
We got Lady Leela coming in. Thank you, darling. Not yet, but close enough. So we're thankful and grateful. We're going to have a candid conversation. Coach Tanya, I want you to, if you'll stay in the lobby for me, don't go too far away, and I'm going to bring you right back in. But listen, family, I want you all to know that's a powerful woman of God right there. I thank God for her. Carol Caspar is in the house. Our love to you. Our prayers remain with you. Shout out to all of Team Joshua Generation and to Team Legacy. I'm told today, I didn't speak to him personally, but our brother Lata, his mother, went ahead and checked out and went on to be with the Lord. And we know that his heart is heavy. We want to lift him up in prayers as well. But listen, family, I've been having this conversation more and more. And, birthday coming up and all that good stuff. You get a little older and you just start thinking a little bit different. Hopefully, some folk are not just getting older, but they're getting a little bit wiser. So I want to have a conversation on retirement and the readiness for that, because I'm seeing so many hardworking, well-meaning individuals, and we've been sold a bill of goods that really has put a lot of folk at a huge disadvantage. And some of us know how large that gap is. Some of us, out of sight, out of mind, don't really like to think about it, don't really like to talk about it. But here's what I'll tell you on that. Just because you don't face a dilemma, just because you don't face the catastrophe or the disaster, it doesn't mean it's not there. And it's time, y'all, if ever there was a time for us to open up our eyes and then take the necessary action based upon what we see or don't see, that time is now. And we're seeing so many well-meaning, good-hearted, kind, courteous, hardworking folk. They've been misinformed. They've been miseducated because they've been misrepresented. So we're going to talk about that tonight. I'm going to start with a video. I'm going to put it on the screen. Shout out to Coach Todd Strand. He's the first one that I saw sharing this. And it really just paints the picture. I mean, if this video that I'm about to share with you doesn't paint the picture, I really don't know what to say. But I want to help somebody before you maybe you're like in your 20s. Like, man, ain't nobody thinking about retirement. Well, you should be. Hello. The earlier, the better. Hello. Put that in the comments, somebody. The earlier, the better. Go ahead and put that in the comments. The earlier. Chandrella is in the house. The earlier, the better. Lady K is in the house. I know she knows what I'm talking about. The earlier, the better. We got Lady Leela. She's retired too from one employment. serving this nation. Amen. We thank God. In fact, I want y'all to go ahead and invite some retirees. Get them in here. Come on, calling all retirees. And if you ever intend to be one, whether you're going to do what so many on the path have done, they're on that 65 or 70 or 75 or 80 or 85-year-old plan, retiring then and there. But y'all listen, we got some young folk that are getting a clue. And I hope, it's too late for some of us to catch it in that batch. But as long as you catch it, come on, you catch it before you get out of here. Catch it while you got, they say the blood still running warm in your veins. You got to catch this clue, y'all. And I'm going to share with you this video, but I want y'all to get some retired folk in here or some folk that know how serious it is to plan for this thing. Some of y'all are 3 years out, 5 years out, 10 years out, 20 years out, whatever the case might be. The information that I'm going to do my best to share with you today. Hey, Miss Pat, it's good to see you, darling. This is for your betterment, not for your detriment. I ain't concerned about getting something from you. I want to get something to you. Are you retirement ready? Let me see y'all in the chat. Yeah, the earlier the better. The only one I see doing that is Tanya. I don't see nobody else. Come on, y'all. Put it in the comments. The earlier the better. We're talking about being retirement ready. You do not have to wait until you're in your 60s to start getting ready. In fact, we say it all the time, getting ready is too late. You need to be ready. Come on now. I'm gonna give you the evidence. I'm gonna give you the goods, but I need y'all to work with me, stay with me. Come on, cooperate with me. Go ahead and put it in the comments and share this message because it's going to help somebody. Here it is. I'm going to go ahead since y'all not cooperating. All right, Chandra, I see you there. Thank you, darling. Amen. Somebody invite somebody, tag somebody, hashtag, put that highlight, put that everyone, and all those other types of ways that y'all can get somebody to see this because this is going to be helpful. I'm going to share something with you as real deal Holyfield as it can get. Lady K, I see you there. All right, let's do this. Here it is. Watch this. Take notes and then get ready to take some action. Here we go.
Record numbers of Americans are hitting retirement age in 2024. So each facing the anxiety-inducing question, do I have enough saved?
Yeah, that's a good question. Nearly 40% of households face a substandard of living in retirement. And as Jill Schlesinger reports, it's forcing some out of retirement and back to work.
This is certainly not part of Larry Gessick's retirement plan. The 77-year-old electrician by trade leaves at 5:30 a.m. and heads for his part-time job unloading trailers at a local supermarket in St. Petersburg, Florida, for $14.75 an hour. His wife, Joyce, 66, prepares for her workday, making $14 an hour as a full-time legal administrator.
It's not really a retirement.
What is it?
It's working every day.
The Gessicks came out of retirement not because they wanted to, but because they had to, and are among the 11 million Americans, 1 in 5 over 65, who are still working.
It's hard, 77, still busting my butt.
So I call it the work, retire, repeat syndrome.
Labor economist Teresa Ghilarducci says work is the new retirement.
More than half of the people who are retired right now do not have enough money to be retired.
Who's to blame for all of this?
I blame policymakers who experimented with our retirement system 40 years ago, and they are not saying the experiment failed.
That experiment is what we know today as the 401k, named after part of a 1978 law that offered companies an alternative to the traditional pension plan.
The thought was that Americans just need a little bit of financial literacy and they can just save on their own.
But in fact, many of today's older workers were never taught enough about saving and investing for retirement.
I grew up on a farm. Nobody there instructed any of us to put money aside and make your own way later on down the road.
Whether you're past 65 like the Gessicks or almost their ages, there are a few rules of the road to keep in mind. Basically, everyone needs a plan. First, figure out when it's best to claim Social Security. Next, fund an emergency reserve. Still working? Set aside 6 to 12 months worth of living expenses. Already retired? Make it 1 to 2 years worth. And keep that reserve in a safe, easily accessible interest-bearing account.
Like many working Americans, the Gessics were more doers than savers. They drained their 401ks.
I think to us it felt more like a savings account than to focus on, I need to have this piled up to actually live on.
They have a mortgage, a car loan, and are paying down about $12,000 in other debt. But even with Social Security, some old pension funds, and their paychecks, money is tight.
All these expenses and the debt paydown leaves you with very little money every month, right?
Yes.
How much is that?
$50.
Had the Gessics waited to age 70 to claim Social Security, they would be collecting more.
Can you look at a time where you feel like you can breathe a little more easily, or are you still under stress?
Yeah, it's stressful now, but I think we can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Getting there won't be easy. For Eye on America, Jill Schlesinger in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Did you catch that? How hurtful, how alarming, how discouraging that must be for so many millions of people across one of the wealthiest nations on the globe. To have been told the things we were told, and then to get to the end of the road after what we were told, and to have to retire like that, yo. That's just not the plight of folk who are miseducated or uneducated, I should say. That's not the plight of folk who don't work hard. You're seeing some Americans there, educated, hardworking, career-oriented professionals. Nurse Catherine is in the house. She knows what I'm talking about. Professional people that took the same route that most of us were told. Go to school, y'all. Get great, not good. Get great grades. Maybe even optimum. Graduate at the top of your class if you can. Do all of that. Then get a good job and work real hard. And, get promoted and live happily ever after, and then retire and live out your golden years. Have all the fun under the sun that you can, right? We're told all kind of stuff. We're told so many things. Fantasy. Come on here. Feel like you're on an island. The plane or something. We ain't seen no plane. We ain't seen nothing. None of that stuff they said. Come on now. It's not working. And if ever it did work, that was 50 years ago. Folk are out there struggling, y'all. And I'm talking about hardworking people with sometimes two. I need y'all to talk back to me. How many of y'all know folk with 2 jobs and 3 jobs, and they still scraping? They still, the insurance can be a bit much when you think of all the types of insurance you need just to make it. That's why some folk probably ain't got no insurance, because of all the money it takes, almost your whole paycheck on medical, on dental, on vision, on, auto insurance. I just swapped over my house insurance. I said, good God Almighty, y'all, I didn't say I was about to buy a new house. I said, I just wanted to insure the thing. Come on now. It's crazy out there, the stuff that you got to do. And I'm not talking about thriving. I'm just talking about surviving. Is this real for anybody? Let me know. Put it in the comments. This is real. I'm trying to have a real conversation. I'm going to put some some slides on the screen in just a moment. And I want y'all to walk with me. But let me know if this is real. Because we got some people out there that's been so miseducated, so misinformed about what it's going to look like at the end of the road. Man, the bridge is out. The road is tore up, and I'm not talking about no potholes. I'm not even talking about craters. I'm talking about the whole doggone road is gone up. I mean, you go up that road, you retire if you want to right now without some stuff in place, and you're going to find out, man, I hope you got some folk you can live with. I hope you got some folk that don't mind you staying with them and all that. I hope you've been good and kind to some folk, because you're going to need them. Man, it's crazy. That's why so many, thank God for for those younger adults who have the heart, and had parents, and the parents were what they were supposed to be, and now, instead of throwing them up in some home, whatnot, that ain't taking good care, because there's a whole lot of homes out there, y'all, that ain't taking care of those seasoned citizens like they're supposed to. And we got some folk in there that was just thrown in there. I guess, the kids didn't like them or whatever the case was, or they was mad at them, whatever. And now they stuck somewhere, and, it's bad. I go to those places. I visit. And I'm telling you, I wouldn't want to put my dog in some of them places. You understand? So thank God that you got some young adults out there. They're doing what they need to do according to the Lord, taking care of their parents, just like their parents took care of them and all that stuff. And that's a necessity today, because it's hard out there. Man, when you retire, if your fund's not right, man, let me tell you something. If you're struggling on 100% of what you've been getting, what do you think it's going to be like when that thing gets cut to 60%? Or 50% or 40% or 30%, or God forbid, all you got is a thing called Social Security. What do you think is going to be like then? When the insurance that you used to have, it wasn't all of that, but it's going to be better than the stuff that they got coming your way, the only stuff you can afford now. And if you wait till later to get that handled, come on, to put wisdom on that thing, you're going to set yourself up for a rude awakening. Do not put yourself in a position where you need someone to come rescue you. Do not put yourself in a position where you're waiting on a knight in shining armor. Don't even put yourself in a position where what they say is going to take a miracle. Come on here. You need to handle your business in a way to be retirement ready. Somebody say right now. Somebody say right now. Put it in the comments right now. So I'm going to give you some information, some things that I know that are helpful. And I'm not telling you what I heard. I'm telling you what I know. I'm not saying it's the only way, but doggone, it's a great way that you can get ready so that you can be ready. So I'm going to put this up here. We got a slogan. We got a way that we like to say things. A better life requires a better way. And I want to add this to that, y'all. We have found it. That's my beautiful queen right there, y'all. Shout out to that retiree. I don't know where she at. She out there in them streets. See, when you retire, you can you can stay out there in them streets, do what you want, when you want, how long you want, and all that. That's one of the benefits of being retired, if your stuff is set up right. But if you ain't set up right, man, the Gessics, I didn't get the spelling of their name. The Gessics, y'all put the spelling of their name in there. These are hardworking people. Not only did they work hard for the 30, 40 plus years doing what he was doing as an electrician and all that kind of, electricians make great money and all that type of stuff. But check this out. Here's what they said. They said, work is the new retirement plan. This is why when you go to Walmart, this is why when you go to Target, come on. This is why when you go to the mall and to whatever grocery chain you got, you see so many seasoned seniors there. They not there for volunteer work, y'all. They not there, they're greeting everybody and saying hi. They got great smiles, but they not there for that. They can do that at church, y'all. Come on now. They there because they still got some medicine they got to pay for. They got some groceries they would like to continue eating. You understand? They got a home that still probably got some mortgage on it or whatever the case might be, and they're not quite retirement ready. So we're going to talk about this better life, because I don't know too many. Now, there are some people in this category. They don't want no better life. Their claim, their portion is poverty. That's how they act like they want it. And they're going to get what they ask for, right? You can't make people listen. How did they say it? You can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make them drink. This ain't about that. This message is not for everyone, but it's for those who want better. And if you want better, you're going to have to make better decisions and changes. And one of the changes is how we plan to exit this thing. You got to have an exit plan really before you get started, but the sooner the better. So let's look at this thing and see how far we can go. Won't be before you much longer. I'm going to run through these things. Y'all need to get this book. You need to go on YouTube. You need to get everything you can with Cash Flow Quadrant on it by Robert T. Kiyosaki. Let me just break it down as in a summarized fashion as best as I can. Robert Kiyosaki talks about how wealth is created. And if you're going to be retirement ready, you need to understand this from day one. You need to be teaching this to your children. I'm talking about your young ones. I'm talking about they just turning teenagers. Sit them down. Get them in a position to hear the words coming out your mouth early. Get them on point with this thing. Because if we would have got this when we should have gotten it, maybe most of us wouldn't have been in the situation that we are in now with so many limitations on us. But when you can break through those limitations, now you have options. And that's what you want to have, is options. But the way that wealth is created on the left side of this quadrant, that's where the majority of the people are. They're on the left side and they get the leftovers and then they get left. Now, at the top left, that's the employee. And even if it's an employee working for someone who's, they might have a salary, they might have an hourly wage, they might be making $200, $300, $400 an hour. You'd be like, oh God, they make a lot of money. Yeah, they're making a lot of money. But here's the weak side to it. The one who owns the job, who's paying them that, why do you think they're paying them that amount? They're paying that amount because they're getting that or more themselves. And number two, at any time they want to change the rules, they can do so without even an email being sent. We've seen it over and over again, how jobs can be moved from not only a city or state, but even to another nation without even the courtesy of letting folk know a month in advance. Sometimes, they going in the office and the locks to the doors have been changed. Y'all know what I'm saying? So the employee is always at risk because they're building wealth and capital by working for someone else who owns everything. When you're the employee, you don't own anything. You work for the owners, and working for the owners, you are at their discretion. And that may be foundational. It may be something that sustains you for maybe the first part of your career, to get experience, to get your skill set right, to cut your teeth and all that type of stuff. But if you really want a strong exit plan and you want to be retirement ready, you want to put some more options on the table besides only being in a position. I'm not saying anything wrong with it by itself, but when you only do this, and this is your only plan, this is your A plan, man, you better put something else with that. Is it making sense to anybody? Y'all let me know. You better put something else with that. You need more than just a job. I'm gonna say it again. You need more than just a job. Even if you're getting a great wage, even if you're getting a great salary, things can change at any given moment. Then some people do self-employment. They've learned a lot as an employee, and they have the skill set, they have the intellect, they have all kinds of things in place where they can do what they were doing with their for their employer. So they go out and start it on their own, maybe they never went to the employer. They just got a skill set. They're doing their own thing. Maybe they went to school and they're a veterinarian. Maybe they're a dentist. Maybe they're a janitorial service. They've opened up and they got contracts with the city. They got contracts all throughout the state, and they're making great money self-employed. But here's what happens. Here's another limitation. They work so many hours and they work so hard and they cover so many positions because of the folk they have to hire. And they got all these different things. They got the insurances, and FICA, and Social Security, and then utilities and payroll and all these other things. They just wanted to start, man, but now they got a glorified job. And when folk don't show up, guess who has to take care of everything? They got to be in 3, 4, 5 places at once, do 6, 7 jobs because folk don't show up like they used to. Come on, y'all. Y'all seen the news. Y'all know what's going on. You go to these places and be like, man, I can't find nobody in here. Nobody to run the counter. Nobody to, to ask me, could I help you? Ain't nobody answered the phone. Where the folk at? They not showing up. That's where they at. They doing some other stuff. And the ones who own that place, they're the ones who are suffering now because now they gotta, fill all kind of hats. Here's the dilemma On the left side of this quadrant, 95% of the population is there, but only 5% of the wealth is there, y'all. And this is why we teach and we train as much as we can that we need a plan, y'all, a turnkey plan to get to the right side, because the right side, Kev, is the right side. I'm gonna say it again. We gotta get to the right side, because the right side is the right side. Here's how you know it's the right side: because 5% of folk are on the right, population-wise, are on the right side, but that's where 95% of the wealth is. Now, they're not wealthy there because, contrary to popular belief, they are not smarter. They do not work harder. In fact, I would say that the people who really work the hardest are definitely on the left side, where they got left, and the ones on the right side, they do what they do, but they're not making their wealth based upon how much time they put in. No. They don't get leverage by being on the clock. They're not paid hourly. They're not paid a salary. No one determines their wealth, in fact, but themselves. They have business systems. And if you don't have systems that are working in your advantage, working for your favor, then you have missed the knowledge and understanding that you need to take care of yourself, your family, and everyone and everything connected to you. You need to have a business system that pays you even when you're not present. You're getting paid on intellectual capacity. You're getting paid on creativity. You're getting paid really to solve problems. You're offering solutions. And this is what the business owner, the one who has a system, they're not getting paid more because they work, 28 hours that day. I don't care who you are. There's only 24 hours in a day. They're getting paid more because they put the system in place in fact, the right systems are such that everyone wins, where everyone is getting something favorable out of the equation, but because of the one who put the system in place, of course, it's going to be most favorable for them. And then the investor, come on, y'all. It's just basic math. Your money, if it's invested properly, will make more money, more than you ever could in a lifetime. Money, everything reproduces after its kind, y'all. Whether it's the rule of 72, so forth and so on, you'll see how often money will reproduce in a certain fixed amount of time, but you need to get the math. You need to get the calculator. You need to get someone who can talk to you about those investments, because the people who are truly wealthy, man, they don't have to do anything for money. Their money is making money. Their life is their own. And this is where we want to help people to get to a place of freedom, where you have the money and you have the time. Those two should go together. They should not be separated. Because if all you got is time and you ain't got no money, man, let me tell you, that ain't it, y'all. I'm gonna tell you right now, that is not it, that you got all this time and you ain't got no money to go with it. And then if you got all this money, but you don't have no time. There are people that working 80, 90 hours a week. I mean, they can't even, come on now, they can't even sit down to eat a meal because they're always at work, and their lifespan is shorter. Hello. The quality of their life is less. They got a lot of money, but what is, come on, y'all, money, what is it? It's money itself is really not even a thing. It's an opportunity. It's what you can do with it. And some folk get twisted up, the religious folk, money is evil. I mean, come on now, we got to get beyond that. What's evil is people who have evil hearts, and you could be poor and evil. Did you hear what I said? You could be poor and evil. Has nothing to do with how much money you have. It has to do with how much money has you. Don't make it your God. Make it your servant. Make it your tool to do what it is that God has put you here on this earth to do. So we want to share this with you. Retirement ready. You got to get in a spot and in a position where you have a turnkey system, a business system that will allow you to get the type of income, not just based on what you do with your time. It can't be linear. It has to be residual. You also have to put yourself in a position where your tax advantages are working in your favor. You need to make sure that you're not just W-2. Somebody put this in the comments. W-2 just won't do. You don't want to be restricted to, all the laws and the codes that have been put in place to govern the taxation of the American people, because it's not It's not to your advantage. If all those rules that we have to go by, come on now, if you really understand, we're being taxed on just about everything but the air we breathe and the water we drink. And if you look real hard, we might be taxed on that too, right? So if they're going to find a way to tax on something, I don't care who's in office, if they can find a way to tax on it, you about to be taxed if you're not taxed already. So you need a way, because a W-2 just won't do, you need a way to begin to deduct, to itemize some things that you're going to use in both parts of your life, for your business and for your personal life, that meets legal requirements with the IRS. I would encourage you to consult with your tax professionals and such, but this should be common knowledge that when you have a 1099, it works every time. Somebody put that down. A 1099 works every time because you're seen as that CEO, because you're the chief executive officer. And here's what happens. You have deductions from home office deductions, meals and entertainment, travel, vehicles, startup costs, all kinds of things that are expenses that legally speaking will come out. Let's just say you made $100,000 that year. All of that is not seen as income, even though there are some things that you did. You needed that vehicle for personal and for business, but a portion that was dedicated to the business, now that part is an itemized 1099 deduction, and it's going to save you a lot of money. So that's one of the things that if you're going to be retirement ready, you need that. Why do you need that? Because on your way to retirement, how much money are you continuing to give to the government that should be in your retirement funding? I'm going to say it again. How much money are you continuing to give to the government that should be in your retirement funding? Man, I tell you, the average person who's a part of what we're a part of in the Travel Club is saving anywhere from $400 to $500 a month on their taxes, period. Now, what could you do with an extra $400 to $500 a month that you're not paying the government, but you can take that same money and put it in your retirement planning? What would that do in the next 10 years for you? Next 5 years, next year, next 12 months, y'all? That's $400 to $500 a month. We're trying to help people to get in position. Then let me just share what Mr. Warren Buffett said. If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, y'all, you will work until you die. How many people have you met? Come on. They work hard, y'all. In fact, they work too hard. And you got folk now, I mean, stroking out, heart attacks, seizures. I mean, all at work. I mean, these are work-related situations because they're not rested well. They're not relaxed. They don't have much recreation. They don't get rejuvenated. I mean, even when they got one off day or something of that, they get calls to do this. I mean, they work around the clock. And we were designed, y'all. I mean, come on, I'm not going to get too deep on it, but Sabbath is supposed to mean something. There's a reason why there are intervals that we're supposed to have downtime. We're supposed to shut it down. There's a reason behind that. There's a reason your cell phone needs to be charged. Come on, y'all, talk back to me. I mean, nothing is going to work when it's plugged up all the time and it never, come on. I mean, if it never shuts down, if it's never plugged in to get, come on, if you got more going out than coming in, it's just a matter of time before you're in a deficit. So you got to find a way, y'all, to make money while you sleep because your waking hours is limited. That's 24. I don't care who you are or who you think you are. You're never going to get more than 24 in any given day. But if you can find a way to earn income while you sleep, listen, y'all, that's round the clock. That's every day, all day. It don't matter what time zone you're in. That's going to be to your advantage. You want to see your income going up around the clock. And we have a plan to see that through for you. So we're talking about multiple streams of income, No longer, y'all, no longer a luxury. It is definitely guaranteed, y'all. It's a necessity. Just real talk out here. Come on. There's real talk out here. It is a necessity. If all you got is that job, you talking about, well, they take good care of you. Okay, stay with it. Now, I'm not telling you to quit in the first place, but I'm telling you, you need something in addition to that. Multiple streams. Come on, somebody put that in the comments. Give me multiple streams. You need multiple streams. Come on, because if one dries up, what you gonna do? If they switch up on you and say, hey, man, we're talking, had a board room meeting, and you be like, well, I didn't know nothing about it. Like, yeah, because you're not on the board. Hello. You were not invited. And they decided on what they decided on. And usually it's not going to be to your advantage. It's not going to be in your favor when they meet like that. And they're changing up things for whose betterment? It ain't for yours. It's for theirs. And sometimes they will train you, come on now, to train the person that's going to replace you. And they'll get two folk, pay them what they were paying you, not even all of your salary. They'll take 80% of what they were paying you and then give that to 2 new people. Come on. You got to read the writing on the wall, y'all. You need multiple streams of income. It is no longer a luxury. It is a necessity. This is why it's so sad, and I've been there. Please understand this. An emergency comes up. God knows life be lifing, y'all. Let me know if you feel what I'm feeling. I'm going to say it again. Life be lifing. Brakes going to go out. Engine going to go out. AC going to go out. Computer, cell phone going to need to. All this maintenance on stuff. You going to go out. You going to listen. You going to need a new something, right? Need some new glasses. Need some braces. Come on, need a knee surgery. You're going to need something, and it's going to cost you something out of your normal operating budget. And that's what we call an emergency. Now, it's not like these things have never happened before, but when they happen to us, we get brand new. And when it's over $1,000, a lot of folk fold. They get put in a position of compromise, and then they start digging holes to get out of another hole. I never will forget. I used to do these things called payday loans. Please never, ever, 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 ever fix your mouth to even say the word. Forget I even said it myself. But this was back in the day, y'all. And let me tell you something. I promised the Lord, if I ever got out of that, I would tell everybody, don't you ever fix your mouth to even think about it. Y'all, listen, you need to make sure that you got that emergency fund. But how are you going to get it when you're already struggling? Good question. I'm glad you asked. That's why if you're already struggling, you got to admit, you got to confess this. This has to become your confession. What you've been doing ain't been working. I'm going to say it again. What you've been doing has not been working. Therefore, you got to get off that path because it's been a dead end. Now, let me just walk through this with you. If you're on a road and you find out it's a dead end, are you going to try to keep going on a dead end road? What you got to do? You say, well, I'm going to waste time if I go back. No, you're going to waste more time if you try to stay on that dead end, just burning up gas. You got to make sure you turn around, do a U-E, and then you find out the right way to go. Listen, let me help you with this. We're going to show people how to get that emergency fund put in place, but it's going to cost you, and the investment is going to be in yourself. Let's take a look. A lot of folk who are retirement age, they're old enough to retire, but they don't have money enough to retire, because once that check is cut, so are the things that they like to do, like eat, like have utilities, to include electricity and water. They don't want to choose water or electricity. They want to have both. So 56% of the Americans agree that they are not on track, y'all. Not because they have not worked hard enough. Please focus. Well, these are lazy people. No, they're not. These are hardworking people. But they've been on the wrong track. They've been on the wrong path. The average Social Security check, y'all, $1,800 a month. Now, I'm in San Antonio, Texas. Let me tell you something. $1,800 a month, it'll cover, in some cases, it'll cover the rent or the mortgage. Anything other than that, I don't know what you're going to do. Because, man, you better hope somebody's going to split their ham sandwich or split their peanut butter and jelly, because you going to be on rations. Because once the rent, that's about it. So if that's your plan, let me tell you, you better make some good friends right now. You better make some good friends. So we're trying to share with you there's a better way, y'all, and a better life requires a better way, y'all, and we have found it. We found it in the #1 industry on the planet called travel. It's already a $10 trillion industry projected to go to more than $15.5 trillion over the next decade, mostly because the folk that are causing all this growth are young folk. And there's a whole lot of them. The biggest demographic today, the largest population, Gen Z. Come on, y'all. They don't stay home. If you look at their passport, they're stamped every year, multiple times. They travel. They love to travel. They prefer travel over any other type of luxury gift. And because this enormous population, their travel patterns are so different from folk who are older than they are, guys, for the next 10 years, it's going to grow more and more and more. This thing is not slowing down anytime soon. This is what we call a major growth booming opportunity. And I would say by planting your flag in this soil, you can't do nothing but win. But you got to be coachable. You got to get in position. You got to make a decision that you deserve to be retirement ready. Is it pie in the sky? I don't believe in that. Is it get rich quick? I don't believe in that either. Is it hard work? Well, choose your hard work because you're already working hard. And what has that done for you? It's hard work, and it's mostly mental. It's mindset. It's shifting from, again, W-2 mentality to 1099, being in charge of your own schedule, being in charge of your own activities, being in charge of how much you want to earn that week, that month, that quarter, that year. If you can start thinking like that, then you might be just about ready yourself. This travel industry, y'all, it was long overdue for a change, and we found a way for it. Because the ones that were out there, man, let me tell you, they were hitting folk over the head real hard, taking a pocket full of money. And I don't care which one you're looking at, Priceline or Expedia, those are the two companies. Everything else are up under those two companies. And they are retail operations, and they get paid a lot. They are multiple billion-dollar corporations, y'all, for a reason. Because they made a lot of money off of people who didn't know any better, who didn't know that there were any options. And the reality is there weren't a lot of options, and there still aren't a lot of options. But lo and behold, we've changed the game. We came in hard and strong with a plan that we call the Netflix plan. Just like Blockbuster was the big kid on the block for so long, but then came a thing called Netflix, the little guy on the block, took them all the way out with the membership plan. And what we've done as a company, y'all, we've put together this membership plan that gives you three things. Number one, we give you the opportunity to get travel agent rates without being a travel agent. I just said something right there, without being a travel agent. My wife and I, we've been travel agents for 12 years. We enjoy it, but we enjoy this travel club more than anything else. It attracted us first and foremost because it was offering better pricing than we were able to get as travel agents. And when you become a member in the travel club, you get access to that with over 2 million properties strong right away. Number two, every single year, it's like a layaway plan. We put you in position where the money that you invest, 100% of it, month after month after month, it's like a layaway plan. It's a travel club. It's like a 401k travel fund, if you will, where it's going to pay for your future vacations. It's the best way to spend your money. It's the best way to invest it, I should say. It's more frugal than anything. It's certainly better than what we used to do, run up our credit card to go somewhere. You've paid for it in advance. But number three, here's the part I love the most, because we talked about that residual income. If you don't find a way to earn money while you sleep, you will work until you die. We don't believe in that. That's against our religion. Here's what we set you up for: daily residual pay. That means when you have three people that are a part of the club, through your effort, the company's going to pay you what you were paying it, which means every dollar that you were investing to get travel points, which travel points will double, giving you more leverage, more buying power than you would have on your own outside of the program. You're still going to get all of those doubled travel points for you to take vacations on, but it costs you $0.00 because the company reimbursed you for every dime that you were paying with just three people. Everything you see on the screen, family, that's what we offer. Make no mistake about it. Here's how the math works. If you're doing any of that and you're not in this travel club, here's how the math works. You're wasting your good money. Now, here's what I know. I got a little sense. It's your money. If you want to keep wasting it, do what you do. But if you want to stop wasting money and take that money that could be used for your own retirement fund, that's the wisest thing in my opinion, then I would encourage you to get with the person that shared this with you, because you're spending much more than you realize, and you need and you deserve to take a look at what the differences would be. I'm not even going to go over those differences tonight, but I can tell you that I've been places, my wife and I, around this world where we have paid, whether it was hundreds of dollars or tens of dollars, for what other people have paid thousands of dollars for. And that is no exaggeration. That is no hyperbole. That is 100% fact. Got nothing more than receipts and videos and pictures all around the world over the next 7 years, last 7 years that we've enjoyed membership in this club. Not only that, as I mentioned, 2 million plus properties where you get access to at travel agent rates. Number 2, you get Dreamcations, where you can pay pennies on a dollar at over 2,000 destinations. San Antonio, sometimes we do a staycation. We've stayed at hotels that we've enjoyed. Prior to the program, we would pay as much as $275, $350 a night for some places for like Valentine or, you know, a birthday or anniversary. We stayed there 1 or 2 nights. That's all we could afford. But in this program, listen, y'all, we've stayed 7 nights at the same place. And we spent between $150 to $250 for the entire week. That's how powerful this program is. And then the 4- and 5-star world tours takes it to a whole new level. Places where you would ordinarily pay a couple of thousand easy. Some of them all inclusive, many of them with breakfast or lunch or dinner included, all kind of other bonuses and perks. Guys, cutting your costs down 20 or 25% of what everybody else is paying. And then the compensation plan that goes along with it. I'm not going to go into the detail of that tonight because we got to get on a faith leaders call. But I want you to get with the person that shared this with you. But let me just end with this, how important it is for you to be retirement ready. We have people who are ambassadors, and everybody in this plan should be ambassador bound. They should be on path to become the ambassador. And whether it takes you 1 year, and it's been done in 1 year, or whether it takes you 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, listen, there are folk that have been on their job, their job, after they went to 4 or 8 years of college, or maybe even 12 years of college, and they're still, some of them, not making $100,000 a year consistently. After all that training, all that school, working 40, 50, 60 hours a week, sometimes even more. Let me tell you, here's how it works. An ambassador has just shy of 400 memberships in our travel club. They did not go out and get all 400 of those memberships, but they started with a team. And with that team and all the duplication that takes down in between their teams, with those almost 400 platinum memberships, the company will begin to pay them. The average ambassador is earning anywhere from $100,000 to $300,000 a year, most of that being residual income. You tell me which plan is better. To work 40, 50, 60, 70 hours a week, and still after 10, 15, 20 years, you still may not be passing 100,000, or to get on this plan where we have people that have done it in various lengths of time. I don't care if it does take you 20 years. You're still in a better position. Let me give a big shout out to my coach, my ambassador, Deborah Taylor. Shout out. We're about to get on that faith leaders call. Her husband passed 3 years ago. He's with the Lord. We miss him much. I know she does for sure, and all the kids and grandkids. But 31 months after his death, his business that was earning $24,000 a year, doing and sharing exactly what I'm sharing with you now, $24,000 a year, that was a reasonable amount of money for traveling like they were doing. But here's what's powerful. Even though he passed, his business didn't. I'm going to say that again. Even though he passed, his business didn't. Oh, it got passed on. They converted it to a revocable will and trust for their grandchildren. And 31 months later, that $24,000 a year business went all the way past $170,000 a year. How's that? Because the people that got memberships in his book of business, they did not get memberships because of him. They got memberships because of themselves. They too wanted to get the discounts. They too wanted to go to all these places and spend pennies on the dollar. They too wanted to build a very profitable business that added value to their friends and their family and everybody that they were connected to. And as a result of those persons doing it, this business now is an ambassador level business, one-star ambassador at that, and it's in the name of their grandchildren. My favorite book tells me a wise man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. $100,000 to $300,000 a year on average is what the ambassadors are earning. And I want to ask you, as I bring this thing to a close, I'm going to ask baby girl to come on in here and summarize what she's heard about this ambassador road that we're on. And we want to give a shout out to all the upcoming ambassadors out there. We see you, we see you, we see you. If you would like to find out what you can do to become one yourself, go ahead and put it in the comments. Ambassador me. Go ahead, Ambassador me. We want you to put Ambassador me in the comments, and we want you to get with the person that shared this information with you. Baby girl, I want you to wrap this thing up. I want to thank you for always doing what you do, because you are who you are, and that is an ambassador inside and out. And I want to thank you for all that you've done already.
Oh, Pastor Mel, I just remember the very first conversation that we had together 5 years ago. And when you were telling me all of this information that you guys had just heard, the conversation kind of went a little bit like this. Are you one of them lying pastors? I'm talking about everything that I heard. I know y'all thinking, I don't believe you. I said the same thing when I first heard it, and I feel you on it. But guess what? 5 years later, 63 vacations in 5 years. I'm getting ready to take my 64th to the Bahamas. Like he said, class is in session. Are you retirement ready? He talked about how W-2s just won't do. $1,800 a month is not going to be enough. And I tell you what, if you don't have a home-based business, you're basically giving away $20 a day before you even wake up. I thank you so much. And if you want to know more information, you can jump on this Faith Leaders call that's happening in 5 minutes. That Zoom ID is 851-8208-4922. But you have to get back to the person that invited you to get that password and jump on in, look at the presentation, get the information, and get your questions answered. We'll see you at the beaches, the banks, or both, but we're going to see you. Bye-bye for now.